you.
Okay.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. Why I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, still listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're at the dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the merchandise page. New Beastie merch has dropped just today within the last 10 minutes here, and we're giving away a Beastie beanie giveaway tonight. Simply give me hashtag Beastie space and the number of entries that you like to do, minimum of 2. That is all you gotta do with your loyalty points, and you get a chance to win that Beastie merch. We are giving away tonight. Hour number 2, 9:15, before we do talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. But before we get too carried away, I got to tell you guys something. The macaroni and cheese at Chick-fil-A, overrated. Much like Odell Beckham Jr., much like Patrick Mahomes, and unlike Beastie Combs. What's going on, Beastie?
What is going on, Buck? What is going on, Man Hour Nation? What the hell did I miss? What do you mean Patrick Mahomes is overrated?
Hashtag bench Mahomes is trending on Twitter thanks to me. You're welcome.
I don't think it's trending.
It should be.
You might be lonely.
Hashtag here. Let me put it in the chat right now. Hashtag bench Mahomes.
Oh my God.
He is terrible.
Why are you benching
terrible.
Mahomes?
Okay. Let's see here. He got outthrown in passing yards by Jordan Love. He had like a 67% QBR. He has like 27 interceptions on the year. He is on pace to get more interceptions than Jameis.
He does not have 20 interceptions on the year, and they just beat the Green Bay Packers yesterday.
with Jordan Love. Congratulations.
So let me get this straight. So they beat the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Green Bay Packers. You're like, oh, with Jordan Love, congratulations.
Yeah.
But the Arizona Cardinals go out and win a game with Colt frickin' McCoy, and you're like, oh yeah, they're overrated. They have Colt McCoy.
Who said that? Who said that?
You.
I never said that. Never once in my life.
I will bring it. I will get the screenshot off Facebook right now.
Okay. You do what you want. Alpha Rob says bench the entire Bills offensive line. How about you bench? Let's bench Josh Allen, the quarterback Josh Allen, not the safety or the linebacker Josh Allen that picked him off, sacked him, and got the recovery. So, fun fact: This is the first time in NFL history that Josh Allen has picked off Josh Allen. So,
and he sacked Josh Allen. And he forced a fumble and recovered the fumble from Josh Allen.
Yeah, so Josh Allen was by far the MVP of the game. And when you think Josh Allen, you're thinking Josh Allen, but it was actually Josh Allen.
Right. The other Josh Allen.
Yeah, so now that I got you...
Josh Allen Jr. now, since the other guy's his daddy?
Pretty much, right? Damn. Yeah. Wow, that escalated quickly. Combs, make sure you're on your mic, big guy. You are sounding a little bit different here than usual. I didn't notice that pre-show, but Josh Allen couldn't block Josh Allen.
On my mic.
Okay, all right.
My mic.
It's all good, guys. But hey, we are giving away that Beastie beanie tonight. So give me a hashtag Beastie space and the number of entries that you'd like to give. How you get loyalty points, you might ask. Simply be active in the chat. Drop a like and share this with a couple friends. And every 5 minutes, you get points for being active in the chat. So the more active you are in the chat, you're interacting with us, gambling, dueling, all that good stuff. It gets you more points. But you know what that doesn't get you more points? And that's Aaron Rodgers sitting on the bench, because he did miss Sunday's game versus the Kansas City Chiefs with the whole COVID thing, and we're going to dive deep into this situation here right now. But before we get into that, Combs, I want to ask you this question. Aaron Rodgers is not slated to return till Saturday to the team. Does he play Sunday, this coming Sunday, or does he miss 2 straight games?
Did you see what just happened to the Green Bay Packers yesterday?
The defense.
There is no way Aaron Rodgers does not play this weekend. Zero
Really?
chance.
Okay.
There's zero chance. Why would you? Did you see what happened to the Green Bay Packers this week?
I saw that they had a great defensive game. Jordan Love missed a couple throws, but everything was right there. And
everything was right there. You're reaching right now.
I am.
You're reaching. Like I heard somebody today talking about, dude, did you see the way he was coming off those play action reads? I really, that's what you're gonna go with right now? They scored 7 points on a Kansas City Chiefs defense that was giving up a ton of points all season long, and they put up 7. Just stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Jordan Love is not the answer in Green Bay. I can't look personally. I can't wait. Like I told you yesterday, I was hopeful that Jordan Love would go for 400 and throw 4 touchdowns because I want to see what would happen there. I wanted to see chaos in Green Bay and how Packers fans would react and if they would turn on Aaron Rodgers real quick. But like there is no they have zero chance. They are 7-2 right now. If Jordan Love is a starter for the rest of the season, they are 7-9.
Really?
Yes, absolutely, 107. He looked awful. He wasn't right. Dude, he's been preparing for this moment his entire life, and he looked unprepared. And he's been preparing his entire life for it. Like the kid is not ready. Not only that, I just don't think God, a first-round pick. They spent a first-round pick on this kid.
Well, people also spent first-round picks on Lamar Jackson, Josh Rosen, Tua. Jalen Hurts was a first. No, he was a second-round pick, but still very high.
Yeah, but
very high pick.
I'm not saying those were good picks either. I mean, look, you pick who you pick. And sometimes they pan out and sometimes they don't. There's a lot of first round busts, but really, usually the only ones we talk about are what, like the top 5 or the top 10 of being, first round busts. After that, people just talk about, oh, he didn't pan out, or oh, he wasn't, he never amounted to anything in the NFL, as opposed to being a bust. This kid is just, I mean, he looked lost. He looked like if he went back to college, he would probably have to sit. He looked bad yesterday.
Well, not to defend Jordan Love, because I think he was the stupidest pick in the NFL draft ever, but I'm going to digress on that. The first half, the Kansas City Chiefs were blitzing him like crazy because Chiefs defense fucking sucks. Let's be flat out honest. They suck. They're god awful. I bet you the Alabama offense, LSU offense, and the Kansas State offense,
Chiefs,
they can suck a fart out of my butthole for all I care.
First time all season long they've won back-to-back games, and you're like, oh, the Chiefs suck.
They beat the Giants. And Aaron Rodgers-less Packers. Congratulations. So back to Jordan Love. Now, when Jordan Love in the second half, when they actually started like roll the pocket and some other stuff, and then he was kind of like forced to play up tempo. He started to look good. He started to feel like a little bit more settled, and they started to bring more pressure. But what people don't realize is, they're bringing pressure, but that makes the quarterback's jobs a hell of a lot easier because you have man-to-man coverage on the outside, and you have Devontae freaking Adams. Just throw the ball up to that guy. Oh, that's right. He wants to give up an easy jump ball to a 5'5" cornerback. I forgot about that. He's checked out for the season like as well. But yeah, Jordan Love was absolutely terrible, and he is going to get that first round bust pick on him probably for the rest of his life.
I saw something on ESPN too that said who was more disappointing yesterday, Jordan Love or Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes by far, because we have an expectation of Patrick Mahomes, and
but that Packers defense is good though, Buck.
I don't care.
It's not like you went up. It's not, you didn't go up and you didn't play the Chicago Bears. You didn't go up and you didn't play the I'm trying to think of some other defenses that aren't exactly playing well right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars. You didn't go up and play the Detroit Lions.
Right.
You went up and you played the Green Bay Packers. I mean, And look, regardless, Aaron Rodgers or not, that's why they only scored 7 points, because they didn't have Aaron Rodgers. But the fact that your offense didn't perform well, they went up against a really good defense.
True.
So I mean, just be happy Aaron Rodgers wasn't in the game, because that W would have been an L.
Yeah, maybe, but I doubt it.
Maybe,
but
they would have lost that game 31-13 if Aaron Rodgers was in that
we
game.
will be talking into hour number 2, but we are starting to show off right here about the whole. We can't say the C word, because every time I say the C word, I get shut down. So Combs, let's not get canceled tonight here. But the reason the topic of the Tonight Show is the whole Aaron Rodgers and the Rona vaccination, non-vaccination thing, yada, yada, yada. So if you guys don't know, obviously Aaron Rodgers is unvaccinated. He is immunized, or however you say that word, right? Immunization. Basically, what he does is he took blood proteins from somebody that has had the COVID-19 virus and sickness, and they pump that into your bloodstream, and it's supposed to build up antibodies or something to that effect, I guess. Apparently, Joe Rogan had this, and a few other people. So a few things that I want to kind of hit on first. Combs, do you want to take the floor first, or do you want me to take the floor first on this whole Aaron Rodgers?
You go ahead. That's the first time I actually heard of what he was actually doing. I knew he was doing something with Joe Rogan. I didn't know what was that. That's
right.
Kinda
and they also did some type of horse tranquilizer too. I'm kind of exaggerating on that, but it was some type of horse protein shot that they used to make horses and dogs better. But basically, when Aaron Rodgers talked on the Pat McAfee show, as you guys know, like, he was on there talking about his vaccine status and like all this other crap. He come out and he said that there were options for him. There were 3 major options on the floor. 2 of them were out right off the bat because he was allergic to the vaccine. Combs, do you know what's in the vaccine? Because I sure in the hell don't know what's in the vaccine. I mean, they have all those computer chips and tracking devices and all that. So I when you sit there and you say I'm allergic to these things, I highly doubt that. Like, are you the only person in all of the world that's allergic to these vaccines? I doubt it. And then he come back and said something about the corruption as well of the Pfizer and the Moderna. So he, like, those 2 are out right off the bat, and then obviously the Johnson & Johnson got pulled off the shelf as well. So he's like, that is out as well. And then he wants to basically go do this thing that was, like, Aaron Rodgers is obviously a very smart guy. He went to school at Cal, right? I think it was. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, obviously that's a smart school. He graduated, he divorced his parents and like all this and like this all the crap. But with that being said, when he says that he was immunized, or how do you say that word? I'm obviously great with words, right, guys? He says that, like, basically, I don't think anybody challenged him because they didn't want to sound stupid. I would have been up there like, what do you mean? You're immunized or whatever the word is. Like, shut your mouth and stop trying to be above everybody else. Just because, like, you don't want to get the shot, just don't get the shot. But once you make that choice of not getting the shot, you have to follow the protocols of the NFL. Whether you want to be like vaccine shamed or whatever he referred to, shut the hell up. Wear your damn mask and do what you gotta do to play football. Combs, we talked about this pre-show, and it was about this time last year when Dwayne Haskins went to that strip club without his mask on and didn't follow protocol, and we were jumping down his case. Hey, can you just not follow protocol for 16 weeks? Hey, Aaron Rodgers, can you just not follow protocol for 9 weeks? Like, come on, man, shut the hell up, get over yourself, and stop being this prima donna.
See, look, This man, I can't believe that I'm about to defend Aaron Rodgers. But I'm about to defend Aaron Rodgers. Look, the guy is still, to me, a complete douche. Like, I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's one of those people that you just want to punch in the face every time it's on TV. But in this aspect, he's 100% correct. He feels the same way about the 19 that we feel. And he feels that he doesn't have to share with anybody, which he shouldn't, because, you know, it's your right to keep your medical stuff private. But, you know, that whole act that we have to sign paperwork for every time we go to the doctor that apparently the government doesn't have to follow.
Yeah.
But so he doesn't want to get the shot and tells everybody he's immunized. Yes, he lied. Yes, he feels like, oh, there's some other medicine. There's people that believe the earth is flat. There's people that believe that, you know, there are aliens among us. There's people that believe that, you know, I don't know, that they're putting microchips in your body when they give you the damn shot. I mean, like it's crazy how many conspiracy theories there are. I myself am not a big believer in it. Again, and we've had this conversation. I got the shot because, you know, the one-off chance that I could give it to somebody and they end up dying from it. And I don't want to have that on my conscience. So yes, so I got the shot because there are people that are susceptible to this thing. It's very few people, but there are people that are susceptible to this thing. And not only that, but Aaron Rodgers proved to me and kind of proved to the whole world, and everybody's kind of missing the boat on this, right? So, Buck, I went to the Blackhawks game last week. You've seen the pictures on Facebook, right?
I did. Great time.
You know what I had to do to get into the stadium?
Probably show your vaccine card, right?
We had to show our vaccination card.
Which is illegal.
And Aubrey. So we had to show our vaccination cards, so we did. And that's how they allowed us into the stadium. Guess who's not checking for people's vaccination cards? The NFL.
Right.
How does the NFL say, oh, well, he told us he was vaccinated. We thought, if I have to show my damn card to get in to watch the Blackhawks game, you're telling me the players don't have to show theirs to get in the stadium to play? There's punishments against it. There's all sorts of rules the NFL has implemented. They said if you're unvaccinated and you miss a game due to COVID, you're going to get fined and you're going to get suspended. Well, guess who's not going to get fined and guess who's not going to get suspended? Aaron Rodgers. Because you know why? Because he's freaking Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
they're not going to do that to themselves.
It is time for me to play devil's advocate here, Combs. It is time for me to pick up that pencil and drop the mic on you. Okay. So first things first is I got to go back defending Aaron Rodgers now, just like you did. But even though I'm on the other side of the fence of this, so Aaron Rodgers submitted his immunization file to the NFL. They said this does not qualify as a COVID vaccine shot, and he appealed it. And they said, you know what? You can say what you want, but you are not going to be on the vaccine list. You are on the unvaccinated list. He's like, okay, cool, whatever. This was all in the Pat McAfee interview. I will link it in the description. So it's like 45 minutes long. So feel free to do that. So this is what's wrong with the NFL and the whole political stance. So I did see a comment here. I believe it was from Alpha Rob. He says it is funny that people hated the vaccine when Trump was in office, and now since Joe Biden's in office, it's the greatest thing ever.
It's a different story. For
right. Yeah. So I definitely
he hits on that too in that interview, by the way.
Yeah. So the NFL knew that he was unvaccinated the whole time. The Green Bay Packers knew he was unvaccinated the whole time, per the NFL stance. Whether you want to be on the logistics side of it or not, every company has their own way of saying, You got to do this, and this. I don't care what the government says, right? You get to do this, and this. So when Aaron Rodgers was in all these press conference interviews without a mask, when he was boarding the plane without a mask, when he was in the locker room without a mask, why didn't the NFL step in and say, hey, you're breaking our rules. You should be fined. You should be this, and this, right? But they didn't do that. Why? Because he's Aaron freaking Rodgers, right? And when you suspend a guy making that much money, makes the NFL that much good, right? Then you see things happening. Now I want to piggyback on what you said earlier. If Jordan Love would have had a great game, 400 yards, right? Aaron Rodgers would probably be suspended for the next three or four games. Let's just be flat out honest about that. But this is also on prima donna Aaron Rodgers himself. If he knows the rules, because, he made a very good statement that he studies. He studied before Jeopardy. He studied before, doing all the COVID shit, yada, 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 right? If he studies so much and he knows the rules, why isn't he wearing his mask when he knows he's supposed to? Why is he not, wearing a mask at a Halloween party that I think he hosted, right? I mean, he should be wearing a mask in his own house if he's having people over. That's just a mandate that the NFL has put. We ridiculed Dwayne Haskins for going to a strip club after a win and getting COVID, but yet Aaron Rodgers were like, oh, maybe his way of thinking is right. Maybe he's this, and this. Maybe it's the new world order, right?
That Dwayne Haskins thing was during the height of the whole lockdown, and during the height of quarantine, right, and during the height of we didn't even have a shot out there yet. That was a completely different scenario. They weren't even allowing fans into the stands. Now we want players to get to be vaccinated. However, if you look, what's around the players, Buck? What happens when a team scores? What do you hear in the background?
I think I hear fans in the background, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like
and Joe Buck
most
saying
stadiums hold about 30,000 fans, don't they?
Easily.
Yeah, and none of them are wearing masks or doing anything, but they're jumping around, screaming, spitting, splashing beer that they just put their mouths all over,
right,
over people as they're jumping up and down. But that's cool. You know why that's cool? Because they make money off of it.
Oh. So what you're saying is
I'm so tired of this narrative of this. Oh, you got to do this or you got to do that. I live in a freaking state. The only state, by the way, Governor Pritzker, you freaking moron, you fat bastard.
Wow.
The only state east of Mississippi that has a statewide mask mandate. The only one.
Interesting.
And we have a mask mandate. But you know what? When I go into places, if they don't have a sign up that says I must wear a mask, you know what I don't do? I don't wear a mask.
Yeah.
Have I had the shot? Sure.
So hang
but I
on.
don't wear a mask if I don't have to.
You're following the rules though, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, if I go into place, half the time I got the mask. It's on my face, but it's usually like under my chin, tucked under, and I don't really.
But you're following the rules. If the sign says wear a mask, you wear a mask.
Correct.
Then why isn't Aaron Rodgers following the rules?
I agree with you.
Because he's a bitch.
You on that part. I'm with you on that part. The NFL should suspend him for the rest of the season. The Packers should suck for the rest of the season. Go Bears!
Go Bears! Right?
but I just don't look the Aaron Rodgers thing with what he's saying. I don't like Aaron Rodgers as a person. I don't, I love the chaos that ensued all offseason with, is he going to come back to Green Bay? Is he not? I can't wait for the time where he doesn't come back to Green Bay and they're just mediocre again. Because look, they've struck gold twice in a row with their quarterbacks, with back-to-back freaking Hall of Fame quarterbacks. It's not going to happen a third time. I guarantee you it's not happening a third time.
I bet you they trade for Mitchell Trubisky for Jordan Love. And Mitchell Trubisky is a Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame quarterback, comes out and just every time he plays against Justin Fields, just destroys the Bears. Yeah,
right.
That would be about on par for what the Bears are. But this Aaron Rodgers thing, I'm with him on how he handled the cancel culture aspect of things. I'm with him on what he said when it came down to, look, I don't care about the politics of this whole thing. Politics are crooked on both sides. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, you're crooked. And I'm not going on CNN. I'm not going on Fox. I don't care. it's, I am who I am. I agree with him there. He doesn't need to conform to anybody's opinion. Anybody who wants to get the shot, by all means, go get it. Go do what you need to do.
Yeah.
All those who don't want to get it, by all means, don't get. You know what? I don't get the flu shot. People get it every year. I don't get the flu shot at all. As a matter of fact, the last time that I got the flu shot was because we had a newborn baby in the house. I got the flu shot, and know what happened? A week and a half later, I got the damn flu. You know when the last time I got the flu was the last time that I got the damn flu shot. I haven't had the flu since.
That's just a coincidence. Shut your mouth. That's just coincidence.
Yeah, that's what you said. What'd you do? You just went and got the flu shot, didn't you?
No, that's what my wife says. And she's always right. I don't need Google like when I have her. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
And I don't get that shot. You know what you don't do? You don't mandate me to get that shot. And you know what that sickness does? Kills 30,000 Americans a year.
Yeah, more than COVID. Sorry, did I say that? My bad. So I see a lot of comments attacking me, Suit Boss, Drew, Havoc, Rob, Michelle. I see you guys, all those comments. You know what? Suit Boss said, does a sign on the air, or is there a sign on the airplane that says wear a mask? It doesn't have to there, Suit Boss, because it is a team chartered plane. Therefore, it is a NFL-funded flight, right? Therefore, NFL rules apply. Therefore, don't need a goddamn sign to say put your mask on. It's common sense. It's in the contract that they signed. It's in the Players Association contract that they signed. I mean, come on. You guys are absolutely ridiculous. Combs, defend me here, man.
Look, I don't... This whole notion of... Look, I get it. People will be like, oh, well, there's numbers out there. There's things that show that this thing is real and blah blah. I get it, but you know what else there is? There's numbers to refute the numbers. There's research to refute the research. But people, they just want to believe what they want to believe, and I'm fine with that. Whatever you believe. If you believe this thing is real and you're gonna die and you just want to stay in your house, you're going to turn into a zombie if you go and somebody breathes on you with COVID, fine. Believe what you want to believe. I don't care. It's the same thing with religion. I don't care what you believe. But don't make me believe it. If I don't want to believe it, I shouldn't have to believe it. I don't have to believe it. People get mad at me all the time when we have the talk about COVID or the talk about religion. Like, my beliefs don't have to be your beliefs. I had somebody tell me, I got so mad today. Somebody told me, oh, well, God won't bring you to anything that he can't get you through. Really? Then how do so many people commit suicide?
I was going to say facts, but I don't know if I should.
I just don't get it. Like, people say what they want to believe, and that's fine. Believe what you want to believe. Believe in a higher power. Believe in God. By all means, I respect you for what you believe in. But don't come at me and try to make me believe it. I'm going to believe what I believe. And that's just it. That's why we're all human beings. That's why we all have a right to do what we want to do. And Aaron Rodgers absolutely has a right to not be vaccinated, just like any player in the NFL has a right to not be vaccinated. But they also have the right to not have to share that with anybody. It's personal. It's HIPAA. There's a freaking law that says that he doesn't have to share it with anybody.
Actually, I believe the vaccines have to be shared because you have to show your vaccine status to be in school. So there's no difference.
It's still a medical choice that is protected. That it doesn't. You read the HIPAA manual. It doesn't say, oh, except for. I mean, it might now. They might have changed the law. I might say it now, but
yeah.
Read one that happened before COVID. It never said, oh, you have to share it with it. No, you actually had to sign a paperwork and say, hey, can anybody else call in and get any of your medical records? If you didn't put anybody on that list, nobody but you could call in and get your medical records. Now you have to share it with everybody because of this freaking this democratic disease that we have. Get the hell out of here.
Wow. Okay, way to get canceled, democratic disease there, Combs. But you were destroying my transition because you said saying, I believe I can cry or fly, cry. But anyways, the Cleveland Browns, guys, flexed on the entire NFL by beating down the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes, the high and mighty Cincinnati Bengals. They cut Odell Beckham Jr. a day or two before the game. So, Combs, are the Cleveland Browns better without OBJ?
Yes. Duh. And the numbers show that they're better without OBJ. Look, the guy found in his first 3 seasons, the guy was amazing. 35 touchdowns in his first 3 seasons. He was great with the New York Giants when they were really good, when they were in the height of being a competitive team. And then all of a sudden they lost players. They didn't have a number 2, and he couldn't be a number 1. The guy's found the end zone 16 times since. 16 times the guy's found the end zone since. And that's in 5 seasons. That's an average of 3 per year. So you went from scoring 11 plus touchdowns a year to 3. You're just not, look, in the lifespan of NFL players just isn't that long. Like, especially wide receivers and running backs. Now you're entering your 8th or your 9th season, entering next year. And not to mention, you're a freaking headache. You're a headache that nobody wants to deal with. You have a guy when Baker Mayfield thinks that you're a clown, you're probably a clown. Because Baker Mayfield is probably one of the biggest clowns out there. But when he goes at you like that, I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. I laughed at his press conference when he said, they said, why'd they kick you out of practice? He's like, well, I was searching. I've seen all the commercials. They say Baker lives here. I was trying to find his bedroom. I couldn't find it, but I was close. So then they kicked me out.
Jeez,
I was cracking up. Look, OBJ is not a Hall of Famer. He's a receiver that had a good few years in the first 3 years of his career. He hasn't been anything since. Nothing.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been anything since he signed with Cleveland. And he barely gets on the field. He's always hurt.
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah, yes, they're better off without him because they don't have the headaches. They don't have to use up a roster spot for a guy who's just going to end up in IR in 3 weeks anyway. So, yes, they're better off without him.
All right, guys. So let me stand up here, Combs, and collect my thoughts because I'm about to lay it on you. First of all, check out this new Man-Hour hoodie I got. Freaking awesome, right? So, guys, Odell Beckham Jr. has been proven to be a cancer not once, not twice, but 3 times now in his NFL career. Combs, you're a baseball fan, right? 3 strikes and you're out. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
3 strikes and you're out, Mr. OBJ. Nobody wants you. What are you known for? You are known for a catch that happened 6 years ago. Congratulations. Other than that, what have you done? Oh, absolutely nothing. When you tore your ACL last year, the Cleveland Browns looked like the damn near the best team in the NFL. They went to Pittsburgh, beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on their home field for their first playoff win since, 1995? The minute you are out of town, they look like the best team in the NFL again. How are you not the reason why the Cleveland Browns sucked for the last 3 or 4 weeks? How are you not the reason why Baker Mayfield is throwing stupid-ass interceptions? How are you not the reason why Landry Jones wants to stab you in your throat every time you look at him in your stupid bleach blonde purple hair? Like, you seriously, you are the ugliest looking dude I've ever seen in my whole entire life, and I look at freaking Combs every day, and just, you are the worst wide receiver in the NFL. I will take Tyreek Hill over you any day of the week, even though Tyreek Hill bounces balls up in the air and throws them to the other team 50% of the time this year. Damn you, Kansas City Chiefs. Guys, Odell Beckham Jr. has been overrated since his 3rd year. Combs, he got like 1,300 yards average like the first 3 years, right? I don't think he's broken 1,000 yards since. Hell, this year he has like 200 yards in 7 games. You know who else has 200 yards passing or receiving? Every other starter in the NFL has at least 300 yards catching. Minimum of
Yeah.
six. A minimum of six.
I mean,
six
his first
games.
game back, he was the leading receiver when he came back.
Who else did they have?
Remember, because it was against the Bears.
And who else did they have? Landry Jones was out. Freaking their
Yeah.
tight end was out. Chubb and Hunt were both
But
hurt.
that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
mean, they were targeting him. He did lead, but he led the team with only like 73 yards receiving. But I mean, Odell Beckham did have a game, but look, the guy, and I'm not going to go off on the tangent that you did. I'm not going to call him the ugliest looking dude I've ever seen, even though I sit across from Buck every damn day. I'm not going to sit there and tell it, and go off on the tangent that you did. But I am going to say that Odell Beckham, again, 35 touchdowns in his first 3 seasons. 35 touchdowns in his first 3 seasons. The man has 16 in the last 5.
Yeah.
The man is not the same wide receiver he was in the first 3 years. And to be honest with you, the lifespan in the NFL of a wide receiver nowadays is 5 to 7 years. You know what Odell Beckham is? He is a modern day Deion Branch.
Ooh.
He was good within a system, and then all of a sudden he left the system, and he's not the same player. He's not the same player at all.
I would go
Odell
out on a
Beckham
limb and
is a
say
guy
he
who's
was
not
only
the same player.
Good.
Go ahead. I'm just saying he's not the same player, and he's a headache in the locker room. So if a team wants to step away from that, why not step away from that? And again, if a guy like Baker Mayfield is made to look like the bigger person, because Baker Mayfield is one of the biggest clowns you'll ever meet. If a guy like Baker Mayfield is made to look like the bigger person, you should probably check the way you're acting.
Yeah, 100% correct on that, 100%. But before we get too carried away and we bring Kevo on with the real bottom line with Kevin Collier, the Cincinnati Bengals, Combs, we saw them clicking on all cylinders. They were leading the NFC North, and then 2 weeks happened to go. They dropped a big L versus the Jets. We're like, oh, it's just a fluke. Mike White lit them up for 400 yards. It's just a fluke. It's just one of those games. Well, then the Cleveland Browns light him up for 400 yards again. Many of us, let me throw Graham Wallace under the bus here, back it up and drive over it again. He had the Cincinnati Bengals in the top 7 of his power rankings 2 weeks ago. Now I'm sure he's going to be like 15, 16, probably even 20. Did we jump on the Cincinnati Bengals bandwagon too early?
I mean, I guess. I mean, I've always thought that they were a 9-7 team, and I still think that they're a 9-7 team. I'm not going to back off of that. I didn't jump off of it when they, won a couple of games that they maybe shouldn't have, where they weren't the favorite or whatever the case is. But no, I don't think that we hopped on it too early. What are they now? They're 5-4.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're 5-4. They, they've got a tough stretch ahead of them with the Raiders, Steelers, Chargers, and Niners. So it's not going to get any easier for them. But look, I mean, they beat the Baltimore Ravens pretty handily. They made the Baltimore Ravens look silly in Baltimore. They played really tough against the Green Bay Packers. They beat the hell out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this is a team that, look, maybe they just hit a funk. Maybe they just, you're not gonna. We didn't think they were gonna be 17-0 or 16-1, did we? So they lost a couple of games. One game they probably shouldn't have, and now they get rolled by a pretty damn good Cleveland Browns team. So it happens. And Joe Burrow did not have his best game. I mean, he did not look very good yesterday versus Cleveland. So no, I don't think you hopped on it too early. I think if you hopped on it at all thinking they were going to be anything more than a 9-7 wild card team that gets beat in the first round, you're probably fooling yourself anyway.
Yeah, so when I sit back and I look what has happened, I will be the first one to admit I jumped on that Cincinnati Bengals bandwagon. Like, I was beating that drum. I'm like, they are going to go into the playoffs. They're going to get a first round win because of this, and this. But do you know why they will not be that now, Combs? Let me give some knowledge for you here. The reason why they will not do that this year is because they did not sit Joe Burrow his rookie year and let him learn underneath a veteran quarterback in the name of Andy Dalton. If Andy Dalton would have stayed at Cincinnati, Joe Burrow would have learned how to be a professional, and therefore
he did sit his rookie year.
And
he played 2 games and then he tore his ACL.
He played like 9, wasn't it?
You shut your damn mouth.
He played like 9. But if he would have sat behind Andy Dalton, learned how to prepare for a game, learn how to read defenses, and do this other stuff, I mean, they would be balling right now.
Andy Dalton was on the Cowboys last year.
I said if they would have kept Andy Dalton and sat Joe Burrow for a year behind him, and he wouldn't have been hurt, so he wouldn't have took five years off of his career.
No, instead Andy Dalton would have been dead.
Would you rather have a 40-year-old quarterback dead or your 22-year-old quarterback dead?
Oh my God.
I mean, Andy Dalton got killed last year anyways.
I don't know how you get on these tangents about these rookie quarterbacks. We've defeated this theory. Just Supos came and destroyed your theory.
I don't care.
On the show.
The Combs eye test tells me that Joe Burrow should have sat out a year.
The Combs eye test tells you you're a moron. That's what the Combs eye test tells you.
You know what else tells you something?
There's no way that you think that Joe Burrow had one bad game this year because he didn't sit last year.
Yeah, because he didn't know how to prepare.
Shut up.
He didn't know how to prepare for a division rival. That's what it is, Combs. Sorry, man. Guys, we are up against the first break. On the other side of the break, we got the infamous Kevo. So if you sure to follow him at the real Kev _0 on the old Twitter machine, Joe Burrow should have sat a year and he would have been Super Bowl champion this year. Look at Patrick Mahomes did it. You know, Aaron Rodgers did it. I mean, facts are facts, guys.
Patrick Mahomes did not do it his second year.
He went to the AFC Championship game and lost because D Ford's a piece of shit. But we digress on that. We digress on that. Guys, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour.
To get benched.
Stay tuned.
Unbelievable.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes with Brandon Combs. Now you can find us on Twitter at manhour_buck and of course manhour_combs. If you miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on podcast form on iHeart, iTunes, of course, Spotify. Mix that up. I normally do the other way around. But also, guys, we're also on Good Pods as well now. So head over to Good Pods, search for Man Hour Sports Talk, and you can rate each episode. So be sure to give us a ranking and let us know how we're doing. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Man Hours. We do upload clips each and every day. They're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are giving away a beanie tonight, so use hashtag Beastie, space the number of raffle tickets that you'd like to give away for that beanie giveaway. We'll be giving that away here in about 20 minutes here on the Man Hour, so head over to youtube.com/Man Hour and be sure to get entered into that raffle. So, Combs, we've had a great talk about Aaron Rodgers, some Odell Beckham Jr., some Joe Burrows, and how he should have sat a year. And it is time to bring on one of my favorite segments of the entire week here, and that's the Real Bottom Line with Kevo. Are you ready to do that, Combs?
Let's do it.
All right.
I always like talking about Kevo.
And there he is, right? There's the man, Kevo himself, at the Real Kev_0 on Twitter machine. Kev, what's going on tonight, man?
What's going on, fellas? Glad to be back.
Yeah, so guys, if you don't know this, Kev joins us every Monday night about 8:45 East Coast time here at youtube.com/Man Hour. But this is all about him, Kev. Where can people find your show at?
Wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the radios. You can find us on Twitter at @thebottom_pod. Find me on Twitter at @therealkev_0. You know, the normal stuff. The Bottom Line Podcast with your boy. That's where we at.
Yeah. I was listening to it last week and I caught myself just wanting to yell at you, why are you saying that? But then I'm like, man, I wonder what people think when I say some stuff that I really truly believe. And that's just what sports is all about. As we can go back and forth all we want, but the real bottom line is it is your opinion at the end of the day. So what is our first topic for tonight?
Well, before we get into it, speaking of things that we believe and stuff, I heard you on your tangent about Joe Burrow and the Bengals. And I wanted to ask, Combs, I think it was. Combs, you said that you thought that the Bengals were 9-7. Do you think that they're a 9-7 team, or do you think their record is going to be 9-7? Because there's a difference there.
Yeah, I think they're about a 9-7 team.
Okay,
I think they're just right now. They're still finding themselves. I think they're still a couple pieces away from being a 12-5 or 13-4, which is what we would consider a real contender in the AFC.
Yeah, and the reason why I asked for you to make that discrepancy is because being a 9-7 team and having a 9-7 record are two different things, right? So when you play a fourth place schedule, right, as they do, it tends to look good. And I mean, but we can't there's no fault on them for losing to the Browns, right? Did it look pretty? No, but we were talking about the Browns being a Super Bowl contender earlier this year. There's no fault in that. Did they lose to the Jets? Yeah. But the Bills lost to the Jaguars this week. The Packers almost lost to the Lions this year. And the Ravens almost lost to the Lions this year. So,
hey, Kev, quick check. Have the Lions won a game yet?
The Lions, no.
Oh, sorry about
that. So just to take Kev's word there, the Lions' record might be 0-17, but they are still an 11-win team.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not the case.
What?
I like what you did there, but
come on, man.
That's not the case. But they play hard. They play hard and they play tough.
Yeah. They play hard enough for 11 wins.
They didn't play very hard against the Eagles.
No, they did not. But anyway, I wanted to I didn't get to hear the conversation that you guys had. I've been really trying to figure out what I feel regarding Aaron Rodgers and what's been going on. And I've come to this. This man needs to be fined. This man needs to be suspended. This man needs to be made an example of. It is no secret that Aaron Rodgers is a bit of it's a good word here.
Pussy?
Bitch?
No, I was just going to say he's a bit of a quack. He's definitely a space cadet, right? It's no secret that Aaron Rodgers thinks a little bit different than a lot of people. But I don't care what he says on Pat McAfee's show on Tuesdays or what he tells the media. My man lied. Like, just because you didn't come out and say the words, I'm vaccinated, doesn't mean you weren't lying, because lying is all about the intent. And his intent was to mislead and make us believe that he was vaccinated. Carson
But
Wentz
he
is not
believes he's
vaccinated.
vaccinated. He
Well,
believes
no,
he's immunized.
no, he believes he's immunized, but not vaccinated. Carson Wentz is not vaccinated. Carson Wentz wears a mask on the sideline. Carson Wentz wears a mask every time he does any type of media things at all. Cole Beasley, as much as we can crap shit on him, he's not vaccinated.
Yeah.
He wears a mask when he's supposed to wear a mask. Aaron Rodgers is out here maskless. Aaron Rodgers is referring to people unvaccinated as those guys when he says things like, I'm not going to judge those guys. It's a personal decision. The whole time. And then, of course, he does the whole thing where it's like, oh, I petitioned to the league and I gave them 500 pages of research about what I did and how it blah, 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 this, that, and the third. Which, by the way, who was reporting in Green Bay? Because this is ridiculous that nobody knew about this.
Right.
Like, this wasn't something that got out. But anyway, yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. I need this man. This is ridiculous, because it's less about, I get it. He's allergic to the thing on the Pfizer and the Moderna. He's allergic to something in there. So
Allegedly.
That's already allegedly. Fair enough. So that's already out the question. Cool. So now all he's got is J&J, blah, 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 blah. Whatever the case is, okay? If you don't want to take the vaccine, that's fine. But you got people, imagine it being me or you, and you've got the vaccine. Just because you have the vaccine doesn't mean you can't get COVID, right? He doesn't, okay? But he's been immunized. He'd like you to believe he has the vaccine. We're in the quarterback rooms, and we're doing X, Y, and Z. And if it wasn't for the fact that he got COVID, so obviously his immunization is not as pure as he thought it was, we wouldn't even know. And it's not like he was like, hey, tell people close to me, hey guys, I'm not vaccinated. It's just that this is just purely we're gonna hide this. And the Packers knew this, and they need to be fine too.
But Kevin, so I get what you're saying, and I get the, apparently, like you said, apparently he's not as immunized as he thought because he still got COVID. Well, I got the vaccination back in April, and then in August I got COVID. So the vaccine isn't as foolproof as they think it is.
That's not what I meant.
So
Sorry.
So there's there are factors to it. And I came out, earlier on the show. I'm not sure if you were listening or not, but I said, look, I'm okay with the interview that he had. I'm not going to kill him for the stuff that he said with, this being, politically driven, and he's not going on CNN or he's not going on Fox, so he doesn't really care to take a side. I'm okay with that stuff. But I'm with you. I mean, if the NFL has a rule on this, and I've always been a big fan of it, you've got to suspend your superstars too. You can't just let your superstars walk. But then 2 weeks later you're gonna suspend a right tackle from Cleveland or something, but you're not gonna suspend Aaron Rodgers. That to me just sends the wrong message. We said that earlier. I'm okay if they fine or suspend him, because now they said if you're not vaccinated and you still come down with COVID, you're going to get a fine, and or suspended or both or something like that. I'm with it. Whatever that punishment is he needs to get it now, because he's not vaccinated and he caught COVID. So he needs to have non-payable, he doesn't get paid for game or whatever the punishment is. Needs to happen to Aaron Rodgers. I'm 100% with you on that.
Okay, pause. You guys are absolutely beating up the wrong bush. This is all on the NFL's fault here. Just because Carson Wentz and Cole Beasley both are not vaccinated, openly not vaccinated, and they're wearing masks on the sidelines, right? Aaron Rodgers submitted paperwork to the NFL, and the NFL said you are not vaccinated. You are not under our vaccinated guidelines. So with that being said, so with that being said, it is the NFL and the Players Association's fault that he was not wearing a mask, that he was not doing this, and this. So how is that Aaron Rodgers' fault if they're not enforcing their own rules?
No, I think you're misinterpreting what I'm saying, Buck. I said he needs to be fined and um he needs to be suspended
They
because
should have done that week 1 when
the
he
N-
didn't do it, week 2 when he didn't do it, week 3 when he didn't do it. How about week 6 when he didn't do it, or week 7?
maybe. But now it needs to happen, regardless of when you do it, because guess what? Like the point is, you have to understand that like what you do sends a message. Aaron Rodgers just spent this entire offseason trying to portray the message that, hey, I know how the NFL works. I know how the business of the NFL works, but guess what? I'm different. Right? He said, I don't know if I want to show up. They drafted my replacement or, whatever that whole situation went down. I'm going to hold out, but not really hold out. I'm going to get what I want. Like the NFL is a business and every player gets treated the same way, even the superstars. Bill Belichick is best at it. I'm going to trade you a year too early as opposed to a year too late. But Aaron Rodgers spent a whole offseason saying, hey, you know what? No, I'm different. So instead, I'm going to hold out and make you do what I want, like go trade for Randall Cobb and X, Y, and Z. And now I think Aaron Rodgers has this mindset that, like, I get it, but I'm Aaron Rodgers. And it's like, no, no,
But
no,
are we
no, no.
surprised that he's got that mentality of that he's better than everybody else? He's had that mentality his entire life and his entire career.
I understand. But being better than me on the football field and being held to a different standard than me when it comes to lives, human lives, with rules that are costing people money, and you can, regardless of how you feel about the rules are the rules.
Right.
I can disagree as much as I want, but if I need to wear a mask because I'm not vaccinated to go to work, then guess what I'm going to do to go to work? I'm going to
Right.
put a mask on, whether I like it or not. And I'm going to get the fuck used to it.
So,
Yep.
so Kev, I understand what you're saying that the NFL needs to do something now, right? Well, basically what the NFL did by not doing the first 9 weeks of the season, it is kind of like when you allow your kid to stand on a chair and he's jumping around and like dancing, like, oh, that's cute, ha ha ha, sit down, man. And then he does this more like, ah, that's cute, man, ha ha, right? And then and then you do that for 2-3 weeks in a row, and then like the next time he does that, you get all pissed off at him. Sit your ass down, boy. You do what the fuck I say, right? Well, Dad, you just laughed at me last week for the same same thing. Why would I not think it's not okay now?
And you're right. You're right. That's called enablement. I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. I have a friend, good friend of mine. Not gonna say names because I don't really need. I'm already kind of putting this business out there. Okay, I've got a friend. He's in a relationship. Okay, well, his girlfriend tends to have a habit of being disrespectful to him. Things like disrespecting the job he has or disrespecting the kind of money he makes, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, and he talks to me about it and he vents to me about it, and it becomes like he's really upset, and it's like, yeah, I understand you're upset now, but you let this go on for 2 years. So now this is why this continues to happen. Okay. And this is exactly, and so part of it, while yeah, it's on her to relax, part of it is on him because he let this go for 2 years and she got comfortable in, oh, I can just say this because it's okay. Same thing. So you're absolutely right. The NFL is to blame, or no, I'm not saying they're to blame, but they do have some fault as well because they should have noticed week 1, or week 2, or so on and so forth. I don't know whose job it is. Just like all the fines the NFL hands out, like I think I'm a Cowboys fan, so I read somewhere that CeeDee Lamb has been fined 5 out of 6 weeks or 5 out of 7 weeks for an untucked jersey. Like whoever's job it is to like, okay, who's getting fined for what this week? Didn't do their job in regards to that. But Aaron Rodgers has a point in that the vaccine has become so political that I feel like people are even scared to ask the questions. And so when it's like, hey, he doesn't have a mask on, but he said he's immune. I'll just whatever. Like I don't know who has access to the records, who's allowed to have them, how that process works. So before I put that on the NFL, I need to know more about what the process is. The only thing that I can say is that there's a personal responsibility to follow the rules and guidelines that are put in place for the safety of the whole.
I had a little. I went to the Blackhawks game last week, right? Took Michelle, took Aubrey to the Blackhawks game, and the three of us went in. And before we got in the door, you know what the doorman stopped and asked us? can I see your vaccination card? Yeah, cool. Show them the vaccination card. Let us in the building. How hard is that for the NFL to do? How hard is it for the NFL to say, hey, if you're going to enter this area, you got to be vaccinated. Show me your card.
Or
If
how
you don't
about
wanna be
this?
show me your card.
Or how about this? We talked about Kyrie Irving, what, two weeks ago? Same thing. I mean, shit.
It's hard because there's so much money that goes into this. Like at the end of the day, whether you and your family go to that Blackhawks game or not does not affect their bottom line. But whether, you know, Kyrie Irving plays or doesn't play, I mean, we're seeing this year, it's probably not really affecting Brooklyn Nets
How about
bottom
when
line.
Aaron Rodgers plays at Lambeau Field and he throws a touchdown pass and you've got 30,000 unmasked people jumping up and down, screaming, sharing spit, sharing saliva, they're throwing beer up and down that their mouth's
It's
been all
okay because
over.
we're outside.
And that's okay, but that's because they make money. They make the team money. It's
there's so many different states and so many. It's different if it's like, hey, you can't come in this one specific arena as a fan unless you're vaccinated. But it's like, you know, we see the NBA trying to fight through this little, okay, well, who can't play in what arenas and this, that, and the third because of that whole like you said, like we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I think it's just a different. I mean, he is one of the superstars in the league. Is he the face? No, but I don't think that the NFL has one face. I think the face of the league is probably a good 8 to 12 guys, and he's one of them. And so it's hard, right? The NFL, these big leagues, which are basically just companies, conglomerates, ways to make money, don't want to do anything that could possibly hinder the money they make. They also don't want to do anything. They try to stay out of the political spotlight as much as possible. And when you say you have to be vaccinated, like the Raiders, you have to be vaccinated to enter this stadium, you're saying what side you're on. And they don't want to show what side they're on because all that does is open the door for scrutiny and open the door for criticism and cause conflicts of interest. And they don't want to do that. They just want to play the straight arrow, stay on the fence. We're not going to give too much this way or that way because that's the best way to just keep going.
All right, Kev, let's move on here. Like we have about 5 minutes left with the real bottom line. What's the second topic of the night?
So most people, I'm looking at most people who blame Odell Beckham for his whole situation with the Browns. Personally, I feel like this is one of those things where like only the Browns can mess something like this up. And what I mean by that is, I mean, his dad put up the video, but he obviously didn't edit the video. He just put it up of Odell being open for 11 straight minutes. And as a wide receiver, you can't like be half in, you know, like you can't be like, I'm just going to come out here and run my routes and that's it. You know, you kind of got to have some enthusiasm. So is he doing his job to help the situation? No. But you can't blame him. And you can't really blame Baker either. He's playing an offense that wants to run the ball. Wide receivers aren't necessarily the most adamant like blockers. They're not going to be excited to block too much. And he just came off of an injury. He's ready to get back. Like, I'm ready to get out there and make plays. Not get overthrown here. You threw it behind my back here. Or you're throwing it where I'm about to get smacked, so I'm dropping the ball. Because, dropping the ball, you shouldn't be dropping the ball. But it's like you're putting it to where as soon as I catch it, this man's about to light me up in front of me. Like, I'm doing this and nothing. Like instead of, it's not like you're not throwing it to him to go throw a 15-yard, up the seam to David Njoku. You're not throwing it to him and you're throwing picks and you're fumbling the football. Like that's where it gets frustrating. And Odell Beckham didn't say anything to the media. He didn't say anything to any teammates. He said he kept it internalized. You can see it on his body language because he's kind of emotional. He's a bit of a drama queen. But he didn't say anything out loud to like cause this controversy. He was just like, I'm just gonna come out here and do my thing, and it's irritating, but it is what it is. And his dad kind of took it upon himself to say, we need to get Odell out of here. And this is why you kind of got the whole free Odell movement, because at the end of the day, man, you had somebody with all this talent, and look what you've done. You squandered it.
How did they squander it? When if a player doesn't want to be there and he's not all in, why would I want to throw you the ball? So you can drop it 10% of the time?
Beckham never asked to be traded to Cleveland.
Okay.
Nobody wants to go to Cleveland.
Okay. Well, then he shouldn't have raised a big deal in New York. He shouldn't have proposed to the kicking tee. He shouldn't have done what he done in New York.
Correct.
I mean, that is his fault. He got sent to Cleveland to die. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He got sent to Cleveland to die, but he still had stuff in the tank.
Did he?
And absolutely.
He's been hurt twice and has 35 catches, Colm, since his first 3 years.
He's been hurt.
Yeah,
I think you said the stat at the end, right before I came
It's the
on.
touchdowns for me that gets. I mean, he was averaging 11 touchdowns his first 3 seasons. He's averaged 3 since.
But this is a guy that when you traded for him, he was making Eli Manning still look like he could play.
Well, Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah,
won 2 Super
against
Bowls.
Tom
How
Brady.
He's
many
a Hall
years
of Famer.
ago? How many years ago? We're talking about when he got traded to Cleveland. Is Eli Manning that same Eli Manning that won 2 Super Bowls?
Yeah.
And 2 Super Bowl MVPs?
Yeah.
No, not does he have the same name? Is he the same Eli Manning?
He's actually probably
No.
he's
my
probably
God.
a bit better.
Well, no, he wasn't the same Eli Manning. They were on the way of, working his way out. He was on the tail end of his career. But the thing was, they didn't have a number 2 wide receiver at the time either. And Odell look, we all see the play, right? We all see the catch, the behind and he's, going out of nowhere and making the grab. And
Pass interference, by the way, offensive pass interference.
That's how
Absolutely
he made his
Absolutely.
name. And 1,000 plus, receiving yards a year in his first 3 seasons. I mean, again, 35 touchdowns in the first 3 years, averaging 11. I mean, you're finding the end zone at a phenomenal rate. And then all of a sudden, after those 3 years, they lose a couple of guys. And then they picked up, God, what was his name? The guy who used to always do the salsa in the end zone. Victor Cruz. And now all of a sudden, Victor Cruz was the guy, and Odell was like, oh, screw that.
Wow.
I'm out of here. You know what I mean? And now he's in Cleveland, and he was supposed to be the man in Cleveland, and then they went and got Jarvis Landry. And what's Jarvis Landry doing? Outperforming Odell Beckham. So Odell Beckham's like, oh, man, screw that.
They had Landry first. Landry was there first. They brought Odell Beckham in.
Okay.
They thought, oh, well, they went to school together. Jarvis Landry's kind of like a big
And he had a good
thing.
first season. He had 1,000 yards in his first season and only found the end zone like 2 or 3 times.
And now
his first
this
season
year,
in Cleveland.
This year it's harder now for Odell because he's 8 years in. He's not young anymore. And I do think that
he's at the end of his NFL career.
To your point, when we think Odell, we're still thinking that like super fast, like can't be guarded, crazy catch, one hand catches all over the place. But at the same time, it's like, the Tennessee Titans want to do what? They want to run the football, but A.J. Brown had no problem getting targets last year. And John
he's not young and healthy anymore. He's not. He's old and hurt.
But he's open. Young and healthy is maybe he's not young and healthy, but he's open. That says enough.
So are other players on the field, though.
Maybe, but again, when he's open, you're throwing picks, not throwing to other open players.
Are you Odell Beckham Jad? Because you're starting to sound like it a lot. So here are 2 things. So usually when an NFL player retires, it is not because they can't physically do the game anymore. They no longer want to mentally prepare for the game anymore. And Odell Beckham Jr. has not wanted to mentally prepare for the game for at least 5 years. Let's just be flat out honest. Ever since he's been in Cleveland, he has not wanted to mentally prepare for the game. That's why he's getting hurt. That's why he is doing this, and this, and this. And Joe, I see your comments here. I'm going to stutter all I want, so you can take it and shove a. Never mind. But yeah, I mean, like, when you no longer mentally prepare, your drop rate goes from 2% in New York to 10% in Cleveland. You know, one thing a wide receiver never loses is their ability to catch the ball. It's their hands. Why is his drop rate going up so high then? Because he's mentally not in the game.
No, you're right. You're right, and that's what it is. Like it's not all on Cleveland, and it's definitely not all on him either. And again, like I said, You want to say they're a running football team, blah blah blah. That's fine. They've got the best 1-2, when healthy, the best 1-2 combo in my opinion in football as far as running backs are concerned. But there's no, like I said, Tennessee has no problem getting their receivers the ball. The tight end that just got paid.
Look, I'd take Odell in Chicago right now.
I mean, I think I'd take Odell. It's kind of hard because like you want to take him to a team that needs a receiver that he could be featured and get targets, but you also, if they're going to be
you're going to say in Dallas. Is that what you're going to say?
No. Absolutely not. But if they're a contender, they probably don't really need a receiver, right? So like then you're like, okay, so now you got to go like to the edge. So you're talking about Patriots, Saints, but Saints just lost a quarterback for the year.
How about Arizona?
So Arizona's already got Hopkins and AJ Green. They don't need, and they just picked up Zach Ertz. They got Rondo Moore. They're trying to feature. They still got they don't need Odell. But Chicago is not bad. Chicago's got a young quarterback. That's where I like New England a lot, and I think Bill
Belichick does a great job with guys who are. I mean, he did a great job with Randy Moss when nobody wanted to touch Randy Moss because of the things he was saying. They went out there and they were setting records.
Yeah,
I would
for one season, right?
As a fan, one season. That's all it is. That's what I want to see. Sit him, get Mac Jones the target. Who, I mean, you can't. He's still, the talent's still there, right? And what if he gets traded and all of a sudden, boom, he explodes again? Then we say, oh, we think he didn't have it because we've just seen nothing but injuries. That's all we hear about him now. But like, we don't really know if he.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, he hasn't gotten younger; he's gotten older, and injuries have been a problem. And now, if you're seeing more playing time, you're probably a little bit more prone to injury. That's where my concern lies. If you're going to go out and you're going to get an Odell Beckham after he clears waivers, no matter what team you are, whether you're Chicago, whether you're New England, whether you're wherever you're at, if you're going to pick up Odell Beckham, you've got to get him with some sort of stipulation of, hey, you've got to play this many games in order to be guaranteed this much money because you're older and you can't stay healthy right now. So you've got to prove it.
Him clearing waivers will get him a minimum contract. So I think that'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll probably end up signing with Raiders too, right? And then drinking and I'm totally kidding. But guys, we are up against the next break here. On the other side of the break, we got Would You Rather, brought to you by Skull Candy headphones. Be sure to click on the link in the description, save you guys 20%. As always, Kev, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week, man.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
All right, guys, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with Brandon Combs. You can find us on Twitter at manhour_buck and, of course, manhour_combs. You can also find the Man Hour page at man_hour_radio on the Twitter machine. Guys, Drew won the beanie giveaway tonight. So, Drew, make sure you scroll up and hit that link and claim your beanie, man. It's the new Beastie Meanie. Nobody has it yet because I literally just created it right before the show started. So, you'll be the first one to have it in your hands, Drew. So, big shout out to you guys. So, guys, we've been beating the drum with the Aaron Rodgers COVID thing, the Odell Beckham thing as well. And we got a little long-winded, so it is time to skip ahead a little bit in the show here, Combs. And we are going to talk about those Dallas Cowboys. Kev's Dallas Cowboys here, and the Dallas Cowboys took a they took an ass-kicking on Sunday versus the Denver Broncos. They were down 30-0 with about 6 minutes left in the game. They scored 2 late touchdowns to make it look respectable, I guess, like at the end of the day. But the question is going to say, are the Cowboys still the best team in the NFC?
Yeah. I mean, they're one of the NFC is loaded. I wouldn't say they're the best team in the NFC. They're the best team in the NFC East. Best team in the NFC is still the Arizona Cardinals. And they went out and proved it again this weekend. But they're the best team in the NFC East. They're a top 5 team in the NFC. The Cowboys are. It's just a bad loss. I mean, it was look. We yesterday we watched the Buffalo Bills lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It happens. People get all bent out of shape over one loss. That's why it's a 17-game season. You know, they'll be fine. They went in, they underestimated their opponent, and they got beat.
So you're telling me that they are the best team in the East, which the East is easily the worst division in the NFL. And so we are going to take one game and roll it up and throw it out, because everybody has that one game in the NFL where they just don't show up. It was Cincinnati versus the Jets last week. It was the Buffalo Bills versus the Jets or the Jaguars. I can't remember who they played.
Jaguars.
And then it was the who played the Jaguars? Who the Jaguars beat, right? I mean, like, there are always those weeks where teams just forget to show up. And I think this week, Dak Prescott missing 2 weeks and maybe not being 100% healthy finally caught up to them a little bit. Hands down, the Dallas Cowboys are the best team in the NFC still. They're better than your stupid Cardinals. They're better than the Bucks. They are better than the Green Bay Packers. You can say whatever. What, Combs? Did you say that the Arizona Cardinals don't suck? The Arizona Cardinals are the worst team in the
Arizona Cardinals just went into San Francisco, and I know San Francisco's record does not show greatness right now, but they went into San Francisco on the road in a division game and beat the 49ers with Colt freaking McCoy.
Exactly.
And DeAndre Hopkins was on the sidelines.
Hey, where did Colt McCoy go to college? Was that Texas? Yeah.
Look, if you're about to tell me that Colt McCoy is a good quarterback,
yeah, he is.
I swear to you right now,
Colt McCoy was the best Big 12 quarterback on that team, and it shows. Kyler Murray is overrated, guys. That's just the way it is. Kyler Murray is much like Lamar Jackson. A flash in the pan. Next year, he is going to be below average at best. So when you, Combs, we're going to go there, man. So when you say the Cardinals.
No. You're going to go there. I am not going to go there. You're in this nonsense by yourself, so you go ahead and carry on.
So I mean, anybody can beat anybody in any given Sunday, right? I mean, hell, Combs, you're right twice a day. Soup Boss says I'm a used tampon. I mean, hell, I was good like at least one point in my life, right? Even though I'm used and washed up like Kyler Murray will be next year. I mean, I was still good at one point in time. The 49ers guys are not that good. Yes, they had that Super Bowl run, but ever since they drafted Trey Lance and all those injuries, for whatever reason, this injury bug has bitten them for like 2 years in a row now. It's absolutely crazy. So I see people in the comments saying, "Oh, the Cardinals are injured. Everybody's injured. It's week 9 in the NFL season. Everybody's injured. Everybody's nail or like some type of nailing injury. So the Dallas Cowboys are hands down better than the Cardinals. Yes, I know the Cowboys defense is a little bit suspect at times. You know who else defense is a little bit suspect? Combs, the Kansas City Chiefs. That year they won the Super Bowl. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys have a bend don't break mentality, and when they don't break, Diggs gets he gets a interception and takes it for like 6. So this particular one game, the Dallas Cowboys were not playing from ahead, and that's how their defense thrives, is when they're playing from ahead. They can take chances and they can do all these chances. But with all that being said, the Cowboys are still the best team in the NFC. They're still going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're still going to lose the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs. Face it, Combs.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if Kyler Murray had sat last year, he'd be a great quarterback.
No, 2 years ago, right?
Buck. They are 8-1 now. 8-1, and they just won a game with Colt frickin' McCoy.
Okay, if you want to go that route, the Dallas Cowboys won a game with freaking Cooper Rush.
Yeah, and then Buck.
The New York Jets won a game with Mike freaking White. Come on,
McCoy.
We can do this all game long.
But DeAndre Hopkins was on the sidelines.
Okay.
DeAndre Hopkins was on the sidelines. They were missing, like, their top running back got hurt and had an ankle injury. They were facing so much, and they had so many reasons why they could have lost that game, and a divisional game at that. But they didn't. They went out and they did what they do. They won a game. Their defense is a top 2 defense in this league right now.
Who, the Cardinals or the Cowboys?
The Cardinals.
Okay.
The Arizona Cardinals are the best team in the NFC, and to even argue that right now, it seems like a little bit of a stretch.
Okay.
The Green Bay Packers are a close second.
Right.
The Cowboys, getting back to the Cowboys are the 5th best team in the league. You've got the Cardinals, you've got the Rams, you've got the Green Bay Packers, you've got the
Bucks.
I'm trying to think. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then you've got the Cowboys. That's your top 5. But the Cowboys aren't on Arizona level. They aren't on Tampa Bay level. They aren't on Green Bay level. They're a good team. They're not a great team.
So you brought up the point that Arizona Cardinals were playing with a bunch of backup versus a division foe, right? What about last Thursday night?
Road.
Okay. What about last Thursday night when Green Bay came into Arizona without any receivers, like, at all? They had Kurt Angle's cousin. They have the Rock sister playing wide receiver.
The second best quarterback of all time.
They still had all backup wide receivers.
Tom Brady's played an entire career and won 7 Super Bowls and 10 tries with backup wide receivers. Give me a break.
Weren't you the one that said Tom Brady had elite talent?
No, you are out. You better shut your freaking mouth.
You are the one that said Tom Brady had elite talent, not Aaron Rodgers. But I digress on that. When Green Bay went into Arizona,
I'm about to walk off this show. I never said that. I never said that Tom Brady. I actually argued the exact opposite, you moron. Second of all, Aaron Rodgers is the second best quarterback of all time. It's a big difference. You're telling me that the Green Bay Packers winning with Aaron Rodgers is the same thing as the Arizona Cardinals winning with Colt McCoy?
Yeah, pretty much, because at least they still had receivers. I mean, when you're getting...
The Cardinals still have receivers, too, without DeAndre Hopkins. Don't get it twisted. The Cardinals have a very good wide receiver.
Exactly.
But DeAndre Hopkins is a huge huge playmaker for them.
So when you say
don't
Devontae
sit there
Adams and
tell me-
Lazard and St. Pierre, Paul, whatever the guy's name is, was like gone, the top 3 receivers on your team are out because of COVID, I mean, something doesn't add up. But it's the Green Bay Packers. It's Aaron Rodgers. He can do anything he wants, yada, yada, yada. But yet those same receivers were back and they got their ass whooped by Kansas City, right?
Fuck.
Come on, man. Speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs won back-to-back games, Combs, for the first time ever this season. Yay! Go Chiefs, go! I'm just kidding. But are the Kansas City Chiefs back, Combs? Are they back to their old Kansas City Chiefs ways that we know them for the last 3 or 4 years?
Fuck, I can't. I don't even know what to say to you. I'm reading the comments now. I'm agreeing with all of our fans. You eat moldy bread as a plate cleanser, a palate cleanser, I should say. You are like, I don't understand where you are coming from with some of the stuff you are saying right now. The Kansas City Chiefs are no, they're not back. If Aaron Rodgers plays yesterday, they lose that game 31-13. They've got a lot of holes in Kansas City. A lot of holes. The defense played well. But it was still Jordan Love. And he did not look good yesterday. This Kansas City Chiefs team, I can't figure out what is going on with them. I just can't. I don't know if the rest of the league has caught up to them, which is what I really, to be honest with you, at this point, that's what I believe. I believe the rest of the league has caught up to the Kansas City Chiefs, and they can no longer be the dominant team that we expected them to be. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are in real trouble. I mean, you've got to go to Las Vegas and play against a team that notoriously has your number now.
And of course, he sucks during week 8 on.
Yeah, but this is a team that notoriously has your number. You're going to play them in a primetime game. Then you've got to play the Cowboys, who we just talked about being a top 5 team in the NFC. You think they're the best team in the NFC. Then you get the Broncos, who just showed up and beat up on
the best team in the NFL.
Stop it. And then you get the Raiders again. And then you get the Chargers, the Steelers, the Bengals, and then the Broncos one more time. You've got a not a powder puff schedule coming up to close out your season. The Chiefs are in trouble. The Chiefs are right now, I would say, if they get 10 wins, they're going to be lucky. Like, it's the way they are playing football, unless they return to form really, really quick. And that just doesn't. At this point in the season, what are we? We're heading into this is week 9, right?
Yeah, we're heading into week 10. Yep.
So you are kind of what your record says you are at this point. Like, you know what you're getting. And I know that's, sometimes that's not always true, because look, if their record was what they said they were last year, the Pittsburgh Steelers would have won a playoff game, right? Because they started out 12-0.
Right.
But at this point, when you're playing the way that the Kansas City Chiefs are, we kind of know who you are. We kind of see what's going on. And that is that the rest of the league has caught up to you. The rest of the league has figured you out.
Okay. So before I lose my mind, I'm going to take some.
You said heading into the show that hashtag bench Patrick Mahomes was trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
So go ahead and lose your mind all you want.
So before we get into too carried away, and I absolutely lose my mind on these Steve Spagnuolo and the defense, the Patrick Mahomes, etc., and Brittany Matthews and stupid Joshua Mahomes or whatever his stupid name is. With that being said, when Kevo said, "Are the Bengals 9-7 or is their team 9-7?" Right, and then he said, "Well, they play a fourth place schedule, so they're 5-4. Like, doesn't really show how good or how bad they are." Right. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs have a first place schedule, right? I mean, they've been into Super Bowl back to back years and 3 times AFC Championship games. So obviously they have a tough schedule, rightfully so. But Here's the problem with the Kansas City Chiefs. Last year, all those bad throws that Patrick Mahomes was making, Tyreek Hill was catching the ball. We saw Tyreek Hill running down the field wide open, burn 2 guys, right? Patrick Mahomes overthrew him by like 15 yards. Absolutely ridiculous. Last year, they were making that throw. We seen him throw the ball behind Travis Kelce. Yes, it hit him in the hands. It probably counts as a drop. But we seen him make that throw last year as well. I do pleasure myself a lot. But with that being said, the real defense is the real problem is on the defensive side of the ball. The real defense is it's Sorensen. Sorensen's is a piece of shit. He is garbage. Ever since he took that cheap shot on the wide receiver in the Super Bowl, I don't think he's made a tackle since. It should have been a shutout, but he wants to overrun Randall Cobb and make him look like a great receiver that he once was when he's like 57 years years old now. With that being said, how do you fix the Kansas City Chiefs, Combs? Do you ask that? Ask that, please.
How do you fix the Kansas City Chiefs?
Bitch Patrick Mahomes! Bitch his ass! Put in freaking Chad Henne, because Patrick Mahomes is the worst freaking quarterback in the goddamn league. You cannot throw the ball sidearm and every freaking play and expect your shoulder not to hurt. Oh, mommy, massage my shoulder. Tweet that the guys are hurting me too hard, mommy. Shut the hell up. Tell your mama to pull her dildo out of her ass and start playing like $100 million quarterback that you are. This guy is fucking garbage right now, Combs. I would take Lamar Jackson over Patrick Mahomes in a heartbeat right now because at least Lamar Jackson shows some heart. Patrick Mahomes, ever since he signed his $100 million deal, he has been complete dog shit, Combs. He threw 150 yards. Jordan Love outperformed him on Sunday. Let's just be flat out honest. You can say what you want to say. Hashtag bench Mahomes. Matter of fact, release him right now. Trade him for Deshaun Watson in a heartbeat. Deshaun Watson for Patrick Mahomes. Hashtag bench Mahomes. Hashtag fire Steve Spagnuolo. And Honey Badger, go back to Arizona. We don't want you either. Toxic fans. Fuck you.
Do you feel better now?
No.
Bench Patrick Mahomes is your take.
Yep. Wake his ass up. What do they do to players when they're in like a shooting slump? Bring them off the bench, right? When a baseball player's batting 137, what do? They trade him to the Atlanta Braves and he becomes World Series MVP. Bench him.
Why?
Wake his ass up. Make him earn his keep. Make him earn that $100 million.
I mean, they won the game, Buck. They've won 2 games in a row.
Oh, congratulations.
And we talk about it in the NFL all the time.
You're right. A win's a win.
A win is a win. And a win is a win. You beat the team that's in front of you. And whether you win 13-7 or you win 64-3, a win is a win. So I don't understand the bench Patrick Mahomes thing. Look, is he playing out of this world? No. Is he playing MVP caliber football right now? No, absolutely not.
How about this? Is he playing $100 million right now? Let's break it down. Is he worth $20 million a season right now?
Buck, his defense has given up more points than any defense in the league this year.
They did last year too. And the year before that.
Buck, you can only sustain that for so long. And the rest of the league has caught up to what they're doing. They've caught up to the game plan. They've caught up to the scheme. They know what they're doing. It doesn't mean that Patrick Mahomes all of a sudden went from, what they're calling the Hall of Famer Patrick Mahomes to the nobody who can't do anything Patrick Mahomes. He just the league has caught up. The league has figured out what they're doing. And until they change up the game plan, and until Andy Reid learns how to manage a game clock, until Andy Reid learns how to change up his play calling, until Andy Reid learns how to figure out what is going on right now and fix this offense like a head coach should, And that's always been a knock on Andy Reid, right? The
Yeah.
time management thing has always been a knock on Andy Reid,
Right.
but it's still a knock. The rest of the league has caught up to them. Patrick Mahomes is still a phenomenal quarterback. But right now, the defenses have figured out how to sustain that, what to do in order to slow them down. And at the same time that they figured out how to slow them down, they are scoring at a phenomenal rate. Now, yesterday, that didn't happen, obviously, with Jordan Love. But in the games prior, you're talking about a defense that gave up 29, 35, 30, 36, 30, 30, 38, 13, 27, 20, and now 7. So this defense is not doing its job either. So at the same time you're struggling offensively because the rest of the league has caught up to you, your defense is also allowing everybody to just blow them by. And that's your problem. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs have a real problem, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
So, yeah, I mean, the defense is fire Steve Spagnuolo too. So the real question from this game is that Jordan Love did start the game. And we spoke with Wayne G last Thursday when the whole COVID thing broke out with Aaron Rodgers and whatnot. And Wayne G said you should sit Aaron Rodgers for the rest of the season because you want to know what you have in Jordan Love moving next year since Aaron Rodgers will not be on the team. Do you agree with Wayne G that they should sit Aaron Rodgers for the rest of the season?
No, I think that's Wayne G is a very smart person. I know Wayne G personally, and sometimes though he says some crazy stuff, right? Like the Patriots are going to win the division over the Buffalo Bills, and now the Packers should sit Aaron Rodgers. Did you see what happened to them? All this stuff we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs right now, they still lost to them yesterday. Right. This team defense that is giving up points at a phenomenal clip, you were only able to put up 7 without Aaron Rodgers. That with Aaron Rodgers, you win that game 30. There is no way the Green Bay Packers, if the Green Bay Packers sit Aaron Rodgers for the rest of the year, they might as well just go ahead and sell the team. They might as well just go ahead and move out of Green Bay because those fans are going to burn down the city. It makes 0 sense to sit Aaron Rodgers. 0 sense.
So let me ask you this in like a different way. Let's say Jordan Love did go throw for the 400 yards that you wanted him to do. Would this be a different conversation? Should we maybe would that have changed your mind a little bit?
If what? Say it one more time.
If Jordan Love would have went for the 400 yards, 3 scores, and the win, would that have changed your mind of what Wayne G said?
No. I would have loved to have seen it because I would have loved to have seen what the Packers fans did to Aaron Rodgers. Do they turn on him or do they sit? But no, you don't. You don't sit Aaron Rodgers. If the NFL suspends him, that's a totally different thing. The NFL suspends him for 2 or 3 games, or decides to fine him, and he wants to throw a temper tantrum like he likes to do. That's a different story. But you don't willingly sit Aaron Rodgers and let Jordan Love ruin your season, because I'm telling you, and I said this earlier in the show, with Aaron Rodgers, or I'm sorry, without Aaron Rodgers, right now they are 7-2. Without Aaron Rodgers, they finished the season 7-9.
Maybe that's their goal. Maybe they want to draft their quarterback.
It's possible. I mean, they certainly don't do anything to help their quarterbacks out. I mean, look, I love chaos, especially ensuing chaos with the Green Bay Packers. As a Bears fan, I would love nothing more than to watch that franchise implode. But they're smarter than that. They're a really well-run franchise, and they'll do the right thing. They will not bench Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they are very well owned by Torrey Anderson as well. Just want to point that out there.
Well, that's it. They are the only fan. Like the fans do own that team, right? It's not. They don't really have an.
I don't know
per
if
se,
it's
do
the
they?
fan or if it's like the city, but Tory has like a like a .07
They don't have like a
stake in it or
personal
something.
owner, right? Like they don't
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
They don't have a Virginia McCaskey, or they don't have a.
Right, yeah.
They don't have a person to point at. It's the
They
whole
they
city.
do have a GM though. That,
Basically, if you buy a house in Green Bay, you become part owner of the Green Bay Packers.
yeah, I'm really not for sure how that works, but I mean, like it is cool that
I'm
like,
going
you can,
to buy stock. I'm going to go buy a house in Green Bay this summer just so I can trade Devontae Adams to the Bears.
Let's do it, and
Okay.
and then hire Ryan Pace as their general manager, right?
Yes, and Matt Nagy's going to be their head coach,
And then they're going to draft or trade for Mitchell Trubisky and be
and
Hall of
I'm going
Famers.
to get John Fox to be their offensive coordinator.
All right, Combs, do you have YouTube pulled up by chance, man?
I do.
Let's go through some of those comments because the chat was on fire tonight.
Dude,
Before we go to the
dying.
Combs eye test here about 5-10 minutes or so, let's go through some of those comments to see what people are saying.
Oh my God, there are so many. So Chad Soup Boss has just been destroying you.
Yeah,
By
I
the
know.
way, he said you're a used tampon. Drew said those are called jelly fills.
What like joyful donuts?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I like the used tampon thing. That's pretty good.
That was a good one.
Used tampon merch coming soon.
Um,
I'm kidding.
then Buck eats moldy bread as a palate cleanser.
Can you do that? Wouldn't moldy bread give you like massive diarrhea?
Dude, I have no clue. Then Supa says, "Buck, go home. You're drunk."
I am home.
He also says you're a dumbass.
That's my wife told me the same thing.
Buck pledges himself to his own takes when he edits the show. That one, dude, I laughed out loud when I read it. I didn't even mean to. You're in the middle of talking, and I just like busted out laughing.
Yeah, as soon as because like I see it a little before it comes through, so I can like approve it or like like or not. And I saw it, I was like, oh man, he got me good there.
Soup agrees with me that the difference is the defense knows how to cover the routes now. The defenses are catching up to the Kansas City Chiefs.
So
I completely agree.
So just how Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad's editor showed you 11 minutes of him being wide open, I could show you like 11 minutes of Tyreek Hill being wide open and Patrick Mahomes overthrowing him or underthrowing him too.
Okay. I mean, I'd have to see it to believe it, but
I mean, maybe not 11 minutes, but definitely like 11 times.
Buck is making Stephen A. Smith sound like a genius.
Ooh.
That was Soup Boss.
That hurts a little bit.
Buck, did your dominatrix beat you too hard over the head with this jumbo dong today? Are you okay?
Yeah. Wow. Spilled soup coming up Wednesday, guys. Stay tuned.
You said yes, she was evil last night, and he said he, not she.
Just coughing the slides in, boys. Just coughing the slides in. Too soon.
Then Soup Boss says Wayne G makes the same house cleanser as you do, Buck. Smokes the same house cleanser as you do.
Yeah.
Drew says if Rodgers played yesterday, they would have killed the Chiefs. I agree.
You know, I think it would have been a different game because I like sitting back and thinking on it now, like it's kind of like Patrick Mahomes is playing down to his competition. Because we saw him like week 1 and week 2, you know, he was performing right versus the Browns and then the Baltimore, right? But like since then, like they kind of had that ever since game 4, they kind of had like an easier schedule, like air quotes there, right? So maybe he's playing down to his competition, you know, thinking like he doesn't need to prepare as much or like the team as a whole doesn't think they need to prepare as much.
Lulling the league to sleep and then just gonna go off on him.
Well, I mean, like I wouldn't say that, but kind of like making a business decision not to go 100% every play because it is a 17 game.
Possible.
I mean, like me as a Chiefs fan, like I'm trying to pad it a little bit. I mean, obviously, I like my quarterback. I like the Honey Badger. The defense coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, he's complete trash. Yeah. But everybody else, I mean, like I generally like them. Besides Chris Jones, I don't know why we gave his big ass $100 million deal, but I digress. But like there are, They almost remind me of the Lakers, or like a LeBron James team in general. Like they're expecting just to sneak into the playoffs and they flip on a switch, right? So
right. I mean, I just think I feel like the league has caught up to them. I don't know. We'll see as the season goes on. We'll see what happens this week in Las Vegas. It's a big game for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, it is. It's actually because I think they're tied for second right now, right? If I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I mean it'd be for a tie for the division lead because I believe the Chargers are off this week.
Yeah. So then Drew says, did McCaskey know Jesus as a kindergartner? She did. She was actually his babysitter. I don't know how much she got paid back then, but yeah, Virginia McCaskey definitely knew Jesus as a kindergartner. Yeah. And you know what? Even back then, she still would not hire a black coach. I don't know what was going on. So then Drew says, oh no, this is Soup Boss. Your takes are diarrhea. Havoc 6927 says, so what was Mahomes doing against the Titans?
I mean, the Titans are overrated. Let's just be flat out honest. They've had a pretty easy schedule. They should have been dropping 5 games in a row.
They just lost Derrick Henry and went out and won a game yesterday.
Just like I said, everybody in week 9 forgot to show up. But the Colts, if Carson Wentz wouldn't have thrown a stupid-ass interception for like -2 yards or whatever it was, which Matthew Stafford threw the same exact interception, which is kind of hilarious, right? Back-to-back weeks. I mean, the Colts would have won that game. If Matthew Stafford wouldn't have thrown that interception, the Rams probably would have won as well. So, I mean, Titans are getting lucky right now. That's just the way it is.
Drew says, didn't Mahomes roll his ankle earlier in the season? Wonder if he hurt his foot again.
I don't think he hurt his ankle by any means, but he did it was like his hamstring or something like that versus the Ravens, I thought. But
yeah.
But hey,
then Drew says they beat the Rams. Hello.
Yeah, like I said, everybody, even the blow clocks, the Titans beat the Rams last night.
Yeah,
19-16.
So did the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, but
dude, they shut down the Rams, man.
The Rams just forgot to show up. I mean, it's just simple as that.
Dude, I needed that. I needed that for fantasy last night. I really did.
Soup Boss says beat the Rams.
And I've got to depend on Justin Fields to help me out tonight.
Wow, relying on your boy. Imagine that. Maybe if he would have sat a year, you wouldn't have to really rely on him.
Shut up, Buck.
Are you ready for your eye test, Combs?
I am ready for my eye test.
I don't have the jingle yet, but let's do it.
All right. So the Combs eye test. This week, I am going to talk, and I'm just going to give a shout out. I am going to give a shout out to the Mount Greenwood girls 8th grade basketball team. We finished our season this year as the 3rd best team in the league. This was a basketball team that, hadn't won very many games over the last few years. But this year, I mean, these girls they developed, they went out there, they played their butts off. And I couldn't be any more proud of these girls. Watching the way that they grew from the beginning of the season all the way to the end of the season, their basketball IQ and what they can do. I'm excited to see what these girls can do in high school. And I was very honored to be a part of their season. So to all the girls out there, to Aubrey, to Lily, to trying to remember all the girls' names. Sorry if I forget anybody. Mia, Bella, Alana, Sophia, God, I know I'm missing somebody. Natalie and Emily. There we go. I got them all. You guys are the best, and I wish you nothing but the best. And I hope that you guys go through life as hard as you did on the basketball court. I hope you guys just destroy everything in your path and make it what you want to be. So do what you got to do.
Combs, can I tell you something, man?
What?
We've been doing the show together now for about a year. We're like 250 episodes odes in right? Yeah. Just like you and me, right? Mm-hmm. I have seen you grow as a father, as a person, as like a human being so much, and like in the last year, And this time last year, don't take this the wrong way whatsoever. You would have not have said that the way you said it, and it was like you know, just like it made me want to cry just because like I know like as a dad, like I know how proud you are feeling right now, and I mean it's simply just amazing seeing the growth of us, you know.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, it is. It's different. You know, Aubrey is she's my daughter. I mean, she's you know, people say, well, you know, she's your son. No, she's my daughter. I'm with her every day. I help raise her. I do the things that I gotta do for her. So there's no there's no anything like that. She's my kid, and I'll do anything for her. And it was fun to watch her go through what she went through this year. So
Drew takes this moment and does it in typical Man Hour Nation. Are you going to kiss now or what? Come on, Drew. We're trying to have a moment here, man. And then Havoc says the Titans are the most injured team and 6-0 against the playoff teams. Buck, you're just still butthurt. Yeah, whatever, man. It is what it is.
Do you know who Havoc is? Like, what's his real name?
I don't know. No clue. But he's a Titans fan,
right.
I guess.
Apparently.
Clearly
a Titans fan.
We'll see you in the playoffs, man. We'll see how you do. Derrick Henry should be back by the playoffs.
See him in the playoffs. You might see the playoffs.
You're right.
That's a might.
Combs, send us out, big guy.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.